Gonna trace the wiring now for the back of the 4 gauges. Reading from left to right, which will be opposite once it's in the car, is the first hole here is for the voltmeter. Oil pressure gauge, clock in the middle, water temperature, and then fuel. Most of them only have 3 wires going to them. The voltmeter has a green wire and a ground. There's the ground, the green wire, and of course the red with the white that has the bulb attached, very easy to identify to illuminate the back of the gauge. The green and the ground wire are attached to the back of the gauge. Next over is the oil pressure. Again, red with a white trace for the bulb. A green wire, which comes from the IVR, is used to modulate the gauge. And then this one wire we haven't talked about, white with a brown trace, comes out of the first bundle of wires on the very edge of the gauge panel, and it is undoubtedly for the sensor for the oil pressure gauge. The clock, again a light bulb, ground wire, and a purple wire. And the purple wire, as mentioned, comes off of the switch we already covered. Last 2 gauges, water temperature gauge, green with a black trace, powers the gauge, and then it's got a light switch, and I believe this green wire, this orphan, green with a blue trace or blue with a green trace, that comes out of this bundle on the other end of the harness is attached to it, but it's kind of laying loose now. I have to check that one out. And then the last one over here is the fuel gauge. Again, the red with a white lamp, and then two wires that power the gauge. Pretty straightforward. Hope it's as easy as I just made it sound.